surprised her, and we want to wish her well in the future.
Well, truly one of the great pioneers of women's professional bowling, a player that's given a lot of her own time and energy to promote the game of bowling for the ladies and for the men as well. And she's mentioned that she's still going to bowl the big tournaments and the Brunswick events, so it's not like she won't be competing at all, but it's time to cut back a little on the schedule. Wendy Macpherson now starts match number 2. Michelle Mullen wasted no time whatsoever in walking up and striking and let Wendy know right off the bat, hey, I got a good shot too.
Well, Michelle Mullen really making her big debut earlier this year in the Fairlanes tournament in Gaithersburg, Maryland. She came out as the top seed and won that event.
Little hold shot for Wendy Macpherson, who raises the eyebrows. That was Tug City that time. She did not throw that one where she wanted to.
This ball going right from the 15th board early on in the front part of the lane, only out to about the 10th board, so she definitely did not swing this as far as she had been. The good ball speed kept the ball on line, and she said that was a key for her. As you can see here, the bowler track system giving you the rundown, and she threw that at about 16.5 miles an hour.
Left lane hooks a little bit more, and, well, she couldn't tug it that time. Ends up with a Brooklyn. When you got the hot hand, everything goes well.
Well, here, let's take a look exactly what happened here. As you can see, she only was at the 11th board, and so she definitely tugged it, especially if lane 19 is hooking more than lane 20. And she's dancing them down. Hey, if they're going to cross over, you're going to hope for the best.
Brooklyn strike. Michelle Mullen tries lane 20 for the first time and throws a perfect shot and leaves a ringing 10-pin.
Beautiful shot there. I saw so many 10 pins throughout the week left by all players. Nothing new, and it was really a trick to try to get them out.
Yeah, the good news was you could hit the pocket across the bowling center. The bad news was you kept leaving the corner pins.
Michelle switching to a harder surface bowling ball, lower friction. And look at Michelle's game. Now she uses the 5-step approach as well. All of the lane, all of the approach. Pretty high backswing. Look at her cupped wrist. She stays very much under the ball. When she comes through it, she has a very nice high roll.
Talented collegiate player. Had a terrific career and has now come out on the national tour and won her first title. This time trips out the 4-pin. The 9 nearly had some company.
Michelle also recently signing on with the Ebonite staff of champions. So it's been a big week for her.
Kind of a funny fall tour. Started off okay and then went into a small slump. Stick at the line, but comes up with the spare. Bill Supper, Vice President of Sales for Ebonite, is on hand here this week and has been out the last 2 or 3 weeks, and they've been working a little on Michelle's physical game, keeping her shoulders back a little bit. There's a good look at Bill, one of the outstanding supporters of not only the Ladies Pro Bowlers Tour, but the Seniors Tour and the PBA National Tour. Pretty good bowler in his own right.
Well, he said he had been working with Michelle in Houston. He said when she runs into a problem, it's usually because her shoulders are too far forward.
No problem right now for Wendy Macpherson, who chatted with Dad after the opening game victory over Donna Adamick.
Wendy probably just went over to Dad and said, look, I told you you were not a bad luck charm. Now just sit back, relax, right, and I've got everything under control.
I'll take care of the rest of this. I think it's so marvelous for a parent to get a chance to go out and watch their son or daughter compete on the national level. It's got to be such a thrill. It's got to be really tough to watch this.
It's very difficult. My parents were here this week.
All right, 31-pin lead for Wendy Macpherson, who was perfect through 4 frames here in Las Vegas. Macpherson started with the first 4. Michelle trailing by 31 here in game number 2.
Michelle, a bowling instructor during the off-season in her hometown of Matson, Illinois.
And after the break, perhaps the speed slowed down just a little bit through the nose, and disaster strikes for Michelle Mullen in the 4th.
A lot of times when you sit there with the break, try to get the same feel again, and exactly what you said, that speed just lets up just a little bit. And that's exactly what happened throughout the week when you did let up on the speed. Michelle that time throwing the ball right around 16 miles per hour. I have not noticed exactly what her speed has been in the previous few frames, so we'll have to take a look later on in the match.
Now in an unenviable position of trailing by 45, trailing to a player that's doing nothing but hitting the pocket. Better speed on this shot. Nice reaction and X. The question now is, does she still have time to apply any pressure on Wendy Macpherson?
Well, she does. It's never too late, as being down by 45 pins, anything can happen with half a game left. But Wendy looks pretty locked in. And the 300 games this week, Wendy was one of them. Also, Mary Martha Trinilia and Jackie Sellers were all awarded $300 in cash by the nice folks here at Sam's Town.
Not to be here, though, in the second game of the championship round finals. An uncharacteristically errant shot here for Wendy. This was not a good shot.
No, really, this ball not crossing out far enough again. Unlike the one that actually held the line for her, she was in deep around the 14th board, and ball only making it back out to about the 10th.
And now she takes the 3 off the 10, so this match tightens up considerably. Michelle Mullen, who was working on a strike, could close the gap as Wendy's dad checks out the electronic scoring. It's really the first unforced error that we have seen from Wendy. She did throw one Brooklyn shot.
And got away with it. Made turned a double into a 4-bagger.
Much more room with this shot. Trusted it a little bit on the left-hand lane, so she strikes in the 6th, but now it's a 31-pin match. If Michelle throws a couple of strikes, this one will be within 11 pins.
That ball's really just swinging out quite a bit more. She needs to trust it out to the right a little bit farther.
Well, we haven't seen any washouts or anything of that variety, so obviously it's going to hook back. A little more speed this time for Michelle. Needs the light hit break, and she doesn't get it as she leaves the 5-pin. There
was quite a bit of out-of-bounds area during the week, Denny, through some of the pairs in the house. This particular pair, 19 and 20, is on the lower end of the house. These pairs had the characteristic of being tighter. The higher end did hook earlier, and also there was more back end, so the players were playing lanes a little bit deeper on the high end.
Of course, basically, we're near the middle of the house as you take a look at the triumvirate represented here at Sam's Town.